Hello everyone, welcome back to AO Matrix. In today's video, we are going to learn how to handle error and send clean, consistent response bodies in a Node.js and Express API. When you build an API, one of the most important part is maintaining a proper structure for success responses and error responses. If your response format keeps changing, your front-end team struggles, debugging becomes harder, and your API becomes difficult to maintain. So, in this video, I'll show you a simplest and professional way to structure both success and error responses using two small error helper classes. One is API response and another one is API error. We will see how to use API response for successful API outputs and how to throw API error whenever something went wrong. I'll also explain how to return a clear status code for a readable message and optional error details in a structured JSON format. By the end of this video, you will be able to create a clean and predictable API output format that works across your entire project and you can reuse it in any Node.js or Express application. I have already set up a basic Node.js project. Check the description for the link. Let's get started. First, we'll create one utils folder. Inside this, we'll create a file called API error.js and we'll create another file called API response.js. First, we'll return API response class. Here, class is API response. We'll call a constructor. Inside this constructor, we need to pass our status code and data and message. This dot status code is equal to status code and this dot data is equal to data and this dot message is equal to message. And last, we need to send our response. Send response will be response dot status. The status code will be this dot status code in a JSON format is status code colon this dot status code and next one is status. This dot status code is greater than or equal to 200 and this dot status code is less than 300. Then we'll consider status as success else error. Next, message is this dot message and the last one is data will be this dot data. We'll export this class. Module dot exports is equal to API response. We'll come to our API error class. Create class API error. It will extend error class and we'll call a constructor. Inside this constructor, we'll pass status code, comma message, comma error. We'll consider it as empty error for initial and we'll call a super keyword here and we'll pass our message inside the super Next, this dot status code is equal to status code, and this dot message is equal to message. This dot error is equal to errors, and we'll capture the error dot capture stack trace. We'll use this and this dot constructor. We'll export this class by using module dot exports is equal to API error. Now we'll test this API error and API response in our API. First, we'll create one folder called API. In this folder, I'm gonna create controllers and services and routes. We'll return our business logic first. User.services service.js const will return. We'll keep some demo user data first. User is equal to name as John and age as 30. We'll write a function const get user is equal to async, and consider this as a callback function. We'll check if there is no user, then throw new API error. The API error needs status code as 404, and message will be not found. Throw error as user not found. If user found, then we'll return user. That's it. And module.exports is equal to get user. This is from service. We need to use this service function in our controller. So user.controller.js const get user from controller is equal to async request comma response. We'll consider this as a arrow function, and we need a try catch. Why we are using try catch? Because if we throw error from our service class, here we are throwing error, that time we need to catch in our controller to display in our postman. Okay, so first we'll call our service user is equal to get user service. Okay, if we found the user, that time will return new API response. API response need status code as 200, and data will be a user, and message will be user found. We need to send this response. If we get any error from the service side, we need to catch and we need to return. The status code will be error dot status code or violent, right? And message will be error dot message or internal server error. This is it, and we'll export this. Module dot exports is equal to get user controller, and we'll use this function in our routes. So let's create a route, user routes.js. First to create route we need express, const express is equal to require our express. We'll create our router, const router is equal to express dot router, and router dot get the URL will be users, and the function will be get controller. And we'll exports module dot exports is equal to router. Then we need to use our router inside our server.js. So we'll here app.use API slash v1 comma router. This API slash is v1 is nothing but version. We can use without this also. For the standard purpose, I am using this, and we have imported our router also. Yes. Then let me test our API. Go to Postman and we'll create a new request. Get user http colon slash slash localhost colon 5000 slash API slash v1 slash users. It is showing users found, but we are getting a empty data. We'll check why. Router, this is our controller, this is our user. In get user, we are returning the user. Then why we are getting user as empty? Let me log what we are getting. We are getting it as a promise, so I need to await it here. Now we'll get our data. Yes, we got the data, and we'll check for our error also. Let me go to a user. I will make this as false. That time we are user is found as a false, so this will call and it will throw a API error user not found. We'll check working fine or not. Yes, not found. It is coming, and we have thrown from here, and we are catching that error in our catch block. This is it, and we don't need to use this actually. The third parameter we can use only to status code and message. This is fine, and if we call it, we'll get user not found. This is it, guys. For error, we are using this response, and for name as John, age as 30. For response, success response, we are using this form: status code, status, message, and data. This is it, guys. I hope this video is helpful. Thank you.